Hi, everyone. This is Deborah. Let me read the disclaimer. All the information provided on this channel is for educational purposes only, and this channel does not promote or encourage misuse of the information. I will mention some alleged happening today, and yes, I will give my opinion about some things. My thought matter, and so do yours. I will use words not intended to offend people, but to describe my point of view and how I see things. You should think with your intuition at all times. Take what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you, put it on the shelf or throw it away. To the Almighty Most High, expose those on this channel with wrong intent and expose and block all workers of hatred, jealousy, voodoo, spell work, witchcraft, and those who try to block people from what is due to them. Expose those behaviors to the people, detach people with good intent from those with wrong intent, invisibly. Break all curses in the lives of those who have right intent. And as for those who have wrong intent, expose them and cause them to change for the better. Almighty Most High, activate the five senses: vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste, and the greater telephony, intuition, and clairvoyance in your people. Block all the work of molestation, rape, abuse, domination, stealing, exploitation. Heal all those who have been victims of these horrible, monstrous behaviors. Okay, so this topic is going to be letting go is necessary. And what prompted me to come on here, I had just got finished watching uh, Tasha K. Hi, Jonah. How you doing? I just got finished watching Tasha K. And she was pouring out her heart about her experience. She was just giving tidbits of what she has experienced in life, and basically her lawsuit with um, Carly B. I think her name is Carly B. And I literally sit there and I felt so sorry for her, and it kind of made me go back to the place that I was when when I was young, and was going through a divorce. Everything came tumbling down for me, and because I had a big ego, and I lost my house, I lost my job. Uh, my husband cheated on me. I tried to kill him. They locked me up. My family turned against me because they treated him like he was the brother and I was the daughter-in-law or the sister-in-law. Everything turned on me. And at that time, I just knew that was the time period that I tried to commit suicide. I had mentioned that I was going to, that I had committed suicide, tried to make an attempt to commit suicide, but I did at that time. And I wound up in the hospital, and the doctor told me that I'd never walk again because I had broke everything in my body. Everything was broken. Uh, my point in telling you this story is this: uh, my ego was something else. I wasn't the type of person I would do for people, help people, and I wouldn't throw it up in their face that I've helped them, but I used to pat myself on the shoulder privately. Nobody knew that but the Creator. And the best thing that could have happened to me was that, because the ego had to be broken. And truly, I was broken. I can look back at it now and laugh about it, but at the time it took me a couple of years after that to realize where I needed to be, and to realize that the place that I was at, I did not need to be at that place. So as I was sitting watching Tasha K, it seemed to me that in her telling her story, it seemed to me that she said she had went to see a psychiatrist based off her experience, her childhood experiences. She had went to see a psychiatrist uh, for 12 years. And some people think that when you go see a psychiatrist, they think that, when you're telling people your story, they think that those issues are going to resolve overnight. Sometimes it take a lifetime, depending on the person, to resolve the childhood issues. Now, for me, I went to see a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist told me that she needs to be sitting where I was sitting, and told me that I didn't need a psychiatrist. So I got gone. And I didn't think I needed a psychiatrist anyway, because I was pretty much a spiritual person. And my attitude was, a human being can only listen to what you have to say, but most of the time they don't have fixes for you. They don't have uh things that could resolve your issues, because most people issues, they wind up having to resolve them themselves. And all people can do is, like the psychiatrists do, is to sit there and listen to your story. But then after a while, people get tired listening to your story. I was not one that, when I saw that people wasn't interested in my story, I just stopped talking to them. And I realized that my problems, I had to find a way to resolve them myself, which is what I did. I started going on a journey, a spiritual journey. And for me, that is what has been helping me. Now, are all my issues resolved? No. The husband issue is resolved. My childhood issues are resolved. Um, I just recently had to um, I realized that, when family members don't like you, because I've always been the type of person that say what I feel. And a lot of times when you say what you feel, people don't like that. And I made a decision that, whenever family members and I didn't get along, I would walk away for 3 years, and then I'll go back, and they still the same, but I'm steady changing. And so I finally said my goodbye to them. I sent them an an email, not an email. I sent them a message saying to them that if whatever I may have done to you, I apologize, and that I forgive you as well. And that was my goodbye to them. Because one thing you cannot do, you cannot make people like you. You cannot make people love you. You cannot make people be the way you want them to be. And you just have to find your way yourself. And that's what I've been doing ever since. I love my sisters and brothers. I've said goodbye to them. I'm okay with that. Um, it's people are just not gonna see you the way you see yourself. People, most of the time, people listen to one side stories, and then they go off and they judge you based off the one side stories. I'm the type of person, I like to be fair. I like to listen to both sides of the stories. I also went and listened to Cardi B, and she's hurting. and watching her, she's hurting as well. And see, a lot of times people base things off multimedia. You don't know what people are going through behind closed doors. Anybody can put on an image. I can put on an image, but people have seen me cry on this channel. I don't. I'm not the type of person that try to hide anything, because I personally think that you should see everything about me, because I'm a real person and I keep it real. And so I think Carly B is one of those persons. I think Tasha K is one of those persons. But sometimes you can listen to people and you can tell that they have unresolved issues. Uh, and that is all that I feel, in my observation, is going on with Tasha K. She has unresolved issues, and she's gonna have to continue in therapy, or she's gonna have to continue in go on a spiritual journey. Uh, your childhood issues many times don't go away overnight, and it took me almost 15 years to get past the situation with not being married anymore, and I put that in perspective, because it is what it is. You have to be compatible with the person that you are involved with, or else it's going to fail. And I heard people say, I actually heard Tasha K say, you have to be, the negative and the positive don't mix, but they do. The problem is, with negative and positive, people don't want to work the relationship. You got to work. Anything that you want to have in this earth, you have to work for it, and you got to work hard for it. I don't care what it is. You have to work hard for it. It's like with me losing weight. I'm 200 pounds. So that means I'm 70 pounds more than what I want to be, because I was 130 pounds up until age 57, and I'm 67 now. So I got 70 pounds. So every time, and I know that in order for me to try to make an attempt to lose this weight, I'm going to have to do some serious exercise, and I'm going to have to change my diet. Okay. Now, I have made attempts to do that. Okay. I made an attempt, and plus my legs hurt me. And I know in order for my legs to be stronger, I'm going to have to walk. And I live up 4 flights of stairs. And so I made an attempt to go walking, you know, but I got to keep on persevering, because if I want to get rid of the 70 pounds that I have on me, I have to persevere in the things that I know what it takes to try to get rid of it. Now, weight is hard to lose when you get older, which means that you have to work a little harder than the younger people. And that's okay, but I know what it is that I have to do. So, what I'm saying is, you have to make a decision as a person, whatever you got going on in your life. You have to make a decision on what it's going to take for you to resolve whatever issues that you have, because people can't do them for you. All people are going to do is judge you. And for me, I care about what people say, but I have learned through my personal experiences, people always got opinions. And whether you are a decent person or a likable person or not, people always got opinions. And I keep that in mind. People got opinions. And I leave it at that. I go on different sites, and I do that for uh, people that are subscribed to my channel, because I know most people that are subscribed to my channel are visual people. And there are times I'm visual and there are times I'm not. I like to rely on my inner self for anything that I need to know. And a lot of times I get it, but also I was just listening to my neighbor sound like a child crying. But a lot of times I go looking for confirmation because I know that most people on my channel are visuals. So I try to find visuals so you can see that there are others talking about the same thing. And I'm usually, if it's anybody talking about something that I have a download on, if I find it, I generally post it underneath this video, under the video. But let me read my little notes that I put in here. Um, I thought this was a good affirmation. And for me, it's a good affirmation. And I said this: from now on, I am walking with a clear heart. If you owe me, don't worry about it. If you wrong me, it's all good. Lesson learned. If you're angry with me, you won. I'll let it go. If we aren't speaking, it's cool. I genuinely wish you well. If you feel I've wronged you, I sincerely apologize. It wasn't intentional. I am grateful for every experience that I have had. Life is too short to pin up anger, holding on grudges, and extra stress of pain. Here is a new life, forgiving everyone that has done things to me and asking forgiveness to any and everyone I have done wrong. I only walk in positivity and love now. That's where I want to be. Hey Jesse James, how you doing? We have to continually focus on in this period that we're in. A lot of people don't understand Saturn, Saturn, which is Aquarius. Saturn requires ownership. Saturn requires you to take ownership. Before you used to be able to pass the buck. You're not able to pass the buck anymore. You have to take ownership of any mistakes that you make, any type of behavior that you did and you wrong somebody. You have to take ownership of that stuff, because if you don't, it's going to be forced on you. And that's where we at now. In other words, Saturn is causing the people in the earth to become adults. No more childlike behaviors as an adult. That is gone. And just think about it. We're looking at that for another 2,000 years, or for however long this people are going to be in this earth. That's how long we're going to have to deal with Saturn, Aquarius. Okay, because it's all about truth, and it's all about you telling the truth. It's all about you living the truth. It's all about you where you used to compromise things. The universe is causing people to no longer compromise. Tell the truth, and yes, truth hurts because nobody wants to hear it. One of my subscriber put a long message, and I went back in there. Well, comment, and I went back in there to so it can be posted. I selected it, but I don't know what happened to it. I have a strike on my channel, and I had to take uh so YouTube told me to take uh, uh, a lesson test. It was a questionnaire, about 7 questionnaires, and they will remove the strike. The strike been there for 2 years. That's one of the reasons why I have not been able to become a member. Uh, After a period of time, I just say bump it. But anyway, they told me that they'll remove the strike in January if I don't do anything else to cause another strike. But it's amazing to me that they're doing that with me. But there's 2 people out there that is talking about people being dead. They're talking about movie stars and talking about singers, and then they come in like this. I'm sorry to say so and so has passed. We're gonna miss so and so. And then you go and look, that person's still living. But YouTube allowed those people to continue telling those lies. I don't understand that. How you going to give me a strike, but then these people are doing videos continually on different people saying that those people are dead when in actuality they're still living. That's crazy to me. I thought it was just one person doing it, but it's 2 people out there that is lying, saying that these people are dead. You know, and I think it's crazy. But that's YouTube though. That's what they do. So how you guys are doing? I just wanted to come on real quickly uh, to hope that things get better for Tasha K and things get better for Cardi B and all the other women that's out there going through stuff because you have to take ownership. You have to take ownership of your behavior now, and that's the state we're in. We're not going to be able to get past it now. It is what it is, and so if your behavior was done publicly, it's going to be you're going to have to deal with it publicly, and that's how it. And then people may perceive you and not in a good light. And that's okay because people gonna always have opinions. Yeah. Hopefully Tasha K be okay. She's entitled. She's from from listening to her story, I just personally think that there's still some unresolved issues there. Um because a lot of times, yeah, a lot of times, people don't realize that when they're hurting, they tend to attack because they don't like the pain that they're having. I was fortunate enough to deal with one person that hurt me, and I attacked him, and that was my ex-husband. But I was broken so badly to the point where I couldn't attack nobody else. And so that lesson I learned, and I'm very, very thankful for that because I don't want to, and my son and I talk about it all the time. Whenever something is going on with me, if I've been diagnosed as having degenerate arthritis, and degenerate arthritis is and a lot of people probably don't know that, but every part of your body is in pain. And fortunate for me, hi Gremlin. Fortunate for me, I don't I, I just, I'm glad I went through that process because what I have going on in my body is nobody's fault. And so I've learned through that process that I went through that whatever I go through is nobody's fault. You know, it's nobody's fault. Now, hey lady, hi Zalika, how you doing? But it's nobody's fault. Now, if you come for me and attack me in this time period, I'm going to say something to you immediately. Where before I used to just wouldn't say nothing, just to keep peace. That's not the period we're in today. You have to resolve issues, whatever they are. You have to resolve them because the universe is causing us to do that now. You know. Oh, well, thank you for being here. I didn't know anybody was still on, but I just felt led to come on to talk about the. See, that's what I'm saying right now. Mental health is very live today. But if you understand what is going on in the earth, the mental health won't be so bad because that's what's going on. We say mental health, but the mental is what is going on. The mental is being dealt with uh, because that's the outside of this universe. Well, the third dimension here is the mental, and that's what's going on right now. The mental is being disturbed, and it depends on how you look at it. You know, fortunate for me, like I told you, I am a empath, so I can feel everything that's going on in the earth. Plus, I am a Virgo, and I'm an earth sign, so I feel everything anyway. But because I feel everything, and I know most of the time it's not me, then I'm able to shake it off. You know, a lot. I do a lot of crying because I know that there's so many people out there that don't know what's going on with them. Unfortunately, and then fortunately for me, I didn't have anybody to talk to when I was going through what I was going through. Uh, and that's how the universe dealt with me. And I'm glad because I don't have to depend on other people to be comfort. The universe does that to me. That's the kind of relationship I have with the universe. And the universe is there for everybody. You just have to hook yourself into it. So Gremlin says, yes, agreed. The humans have allowed this system to integrate with their peace and sovereignty. But the reason why they have is because they don't understand it. And that's why there are people on the platforms now to help people understand it. I was listening to Aset Ra. I think she calls herself Princess. Is it Princess? Priestess Aset Ra. I was listening to one of her videos again today, and she's funny. She really is funny to me. But she's from Jamaica, and I noticed that we kind of talk about similar things. Um, and I found that to be interesting. I saw Fool Abroad over there. She comes here sometimes and listens. She communicates a lot in chat. Fool Abroad does, and but she goes to she the Aset Raw may be somebody you might consider going and listening to because she talks a lot about the different deities. And see, I'm on a different place when it comes to the different deities than she is. But one thing I can say this that I just realized is that the entities, the invisible entities, you got the lower level entities and you got high ranking entities. And as long as you're not afraid of them, you're good. But the moment that you show that you have fear of them, they want to play. That's what they do. They play. And a lot of people, what they do, like the priestess, uh, those that call themselves priestess, those what is it? Many of the African women or many of the foreign women, they do a voodoo, and voodoo is not what people think it is. Voodoo is a form of ritual, and people don't use it necessarily to cause harm to others. Voodoo is used in many kind of ways, uh, and so, but a lot of foreign women use voodoo. And I say I always recite voodoo on this channel because there are some people that do use voodoo the wrong way, and and that is for them, the ones that use it the wrong way. um I mean, there's no reason to speak wickedness or harm on people, because the time that we're in today, if people do things to you, they're going to get karma anyway. Like I said previously in the other video, if you notice, the conscious community leaders, things are happening to them now. And the last ones that's going to get it is the patriarchals, the ones that are in charge. Hi, Clara. How you doing? You know, and so they're going to get it last. But if you just go, if you were one of the ones that listen to the conscious community, fellas, go look around, and you see that things are happening in their lives now. You know, and so if you don't allow the universe to hold you accountable, you're going to be forced to be accountable. You have no choice. This is different. If you were the type of person uh, that needs to go on a new beginning, and say you were a gambler, say you were going to the casino. Well, now in this new beginning, going to the casino is not what's going to be a part of your new beginning. That means either you volunteer to stop gambling, or if you go to gambling, you're going to lose your money. And you're going to keep on losing your money until you stop gambling. So that's what I mean when I say you're going to be forced. The other thing, if you with someone and that person, it's time to leave that person behind, and if you don't volunteer to let go, because the universe is, that person may continue, that person may say, I want to leave, we don't need to be together, and you don't hear that, what's going to happen is that it's going to be turned up. And what I mean by that, every time you turn around, you're fussing and arguing with each other. That's what's going to take place. If if a person, a mother is told to take a child to see a psychiatrist because the child needs to see a psychiatrist, and then the mother said, "No, I'm not taking." Well, whatever's going on with that child, it's that child gonna turn it up. That's what's, and it's funny because people say, "Ooh, it's the devil." It is the lower energy that's doing it, but it's doing it because that is the way to get your attention. Because I just don't understand. What I don't understand is this: it's just as easy to listen to the universe speak in your psyche and respond to that and do what you need to do than to wait and test it and let some horrible negative stuff come in your life. That don't make sense to my brain. It just don't. Sometimes I get busy and I'm not sure that that's the universe that said it, or whether it's me or the universe talking. You know. So when I'm not sure, then I'll say something and I'll say, play it back. And then, like, the universe works with me with numbers. And the universe knows that I know what numbers mean, each one of them. And so the universe will give me a number. And that's how I know, and it'll be confirmed. Okay, then it's okay for me to do it that way. So Gremlin says, learning how to not feel guilty of moving forward from people's places and things. Yeah, yeah, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy because there's a part of you and that person may have built some material stuff together, but it's time for you and that person to depart because the journey that you need to go on, that person can't go. you know and if we could just remember, we came into this earth by ourselves, and we got to leave by ourselves. In the meantime, there's going to be times when we're going to have to have solitude by ourselves. It's not that you are a bad person or a good person. It's just that you have to remember the things that you say out your mouth or think out your head. The universe hears all that, and the universe responds to all that. And sometimes people forget that they thought about that stuff or they spoke about that stuff. They forget. People forget. And so when it comes to do what you wanted to do, you're not prepared for it. That's why it's important. I have journals, and I mean, I got stacks of journals. It's always good when you know you're going to forget things. It's always good to practice journaling. I know some people say, "Oh, I hate journaling," but you know what? That's how you're going to remember some stuff. It doesn't make you less than a person if you're 30, 40 years old journaling. That's good. I've been journaling really since I was a child. I just didn't journal to the extent that I do today. Because you can always relate back to the book. And so, yeah, on that day, such and such in time, I wrote this. And that's why this is happening. I use mine every day. And I have to refer back to it. And it's important to be able to do that because it's going to help you. All of it is to help you. The worst thing that I never thought that I would have to disconnect from some people that I didn't want to disconnect from. But they're mental. is in a different place than mine. And because their mental is in a different place than mine, we couldn't stay together, because what was happening, their mental was disrupting my mental, because I'm an empath and I can only take so much of other people's mental, because I have to take a break. I have to take a break and regroup, because I have to focus on what I need to be doing. I can't focus on what you need to be doing, because if your psyche connects with mine, then your thoughts are going to be in my way of what I need to be doing, and vice versa. That's why it's important to know you, because once you get to know you, you know when a thought comes, that ain't yours. So Gremlin says creating a diary is like creating your own Bible. Exactly. What's wrong with that, Gremlin? Hey, that's what you need to do. You need to create your own Bible. You got a story to tell. We all do. And it's important to be able to uh tell your story. Even if you just telling it to yourself, you go back, and because when I go back and look at some of my journals, I be laughing. I have moments of laughter. And I love to laugh, because, and I'm gonna tell you, in this time period, laughing is very good to do. I pull out me some videos with children. I love to laugh. Kids are funny and on YouTube. I'll pull out some of them videos and get to laughing at what them little kids be doing. It's just funny. Kids are just amazing to me. And so they make me laugh at little bitty things. Yeah, laughter cleanses the soul. Very good to do. Laughter will get you through a whole day. And my son will tell you, if he ever came in here when I'm doing a video, it's two things that I use to soothe me. Children, watching YouTube videos of children, and I like to listen to music. Those are the two things. And I listen to old music, music of the 60s and the 70s. That's what I listen to. Anything past 70, not too much. There may be a few songs that I'll listen to, but not too much. But you have to find something that gets you through. I like to take walks when I can. I told you I live up 4 flights of stairs. I like the outdoor. Going to the park. In the summertime, we go to the park. It's about to get cold now. The coldness don't bother me here in Atlanta. It's not bad. You said, okay, Miss Jill Scott. Oh, that's what you listen to. Yeah, you have to find your way to keep balance in your mind. That is important. I'm telling you. If you get hit with some of the stuff that I get hit with, you have to have something to relax you. Trust me. I don't ever want to go to that other side. And we all got two sides. That negative and positive side. We all got it. I'd rather be balanced. And I'd rather stay more closer to the positive, because I lived my youthful years in negativity. Not by choice. It's because of the things that occurred in my life. And today, I'm not trying to. I mean, you're right, Grim. I just want to be balanced. I'll use the negative if I have to, but if I don't have to, I don't want to, because I know what that looked like. I know what negativity looked like. I want to enjoy the neutral and the positive. I have an idea what positives look like, but I want to experience it for the rest of my days in the earth. And I speak the same thing for other people, because it's tough out there in them streets. It's just tough because it's all kinds of energies out there, all kinds of energy. You don't know what you're gonna get hit with, and these little young babies, they going through it. Like I was telling my son, the way it was supposed to have went, if the patriarchals wasn't running things, the way it was supposed to have went is the parents set money aside for the children. So when the children become adults, they'll have money to get started, whether they want to have a business or whether they want to go to college. But it didn't work like that with most families. So what you got going on now, you got children in college, and you got them also working, and you got them also with roommates, and they're unhappy, and they're miserable, and they're mean, and they're mad with the parents, but they take it out on every older person they see. And they don't mean to. It's just that but it's not the way that it should have been. If the patriarchals wasn't around doing what they're doing, I feel that the earth is plenty room down here for everybody to do the right thing with them and their family. Because I feel like we all got something inside of us that could uh, cause you to have a business to make money for yourself. Because the ancients did it. They did it. There was nobody, the matriarchals made sure that there was nobody lacking. They made sure. People are lacking all over the world today. I was watching some on TikTok, some person on TikTok, and he was an African guy, and he said he done been all over the world. And he said what he found since he been all over the world is one thing in common, all over the cultures in the world. There are people suffering. And he said that he don't understand why is that. Why is that? It's because the patriarchals are going around causing those problems. They don't need to be in the positions that they're in because it's all about them. They greedy. They just greedy. That's not what the matriarchals did. They made sure everybody was taken care of. And that's the way it's supposed to be. My grandmother was a little short lady. And I remember when I was a child, she had 17 children. And looking back at that little bitty lady, how in the world she had 17 children, man, I tell you. But that little lady made sure we used to go to her in the summertime. She used to put me in the kitchen with her. So I had to learn how to cook at a young age. But she made sure she prepared the meals. She always would make breakfast and she would make dinner. Not lunch, but dinner. dinner would get on, I think, about 3 o'clock in the evening. Anyway, she had a big old garden, and she would make sure you got a taste of a meal. Wouldn't be no big old plate like what we have today, but it'd be enough to satisfy you a little bit. But see, I used to go outside and climb them trees to finish my hunger, because she had pear trees, she had plum trees, she had pecans, and I love myself some pecans. And so, if you didn't get enough to eat there, you can sure climb some trees and finish that up. And that's what I did, you know. And the thing of it is, we need to understand that's what they did. They made sure everybody was taken care of. That's what big mamas did. And it's funny, I was talking to some people. They had big mamas in their family too. And the big mamas were little bitty short ladies. And I thought it was so funny. I'm like, where they get their name from? Big mama. But that's what they were called. Big mamas with their little bitty self. You will, a gremlin says, you will, Miss Deborah, a lot of your elders are needed, no matter how we are disagree as generation. Yeah, because you got some elders that don't have a problem telling you their stories. And believe it or not, their stories can be very helpful. Uh, you know, I feel so sorry for the young kids having to work and go to college. See, that's what we did in our generation. We worked, and we went to school full time, and we worked part time is what we did. You know, and that's how it was for people in my generation. You know, but these kids today, parents put them out because the kids getting kind of mouthy sometimes, and the parents put them out. They don't. Kids are getting put out for different reasons. Different reason. You got those kids to get put out because of they're mouthy. Then you got those kids to get put out because they're lesbians and they're homosexuals. Uh, and the parents is ignorant to what the Bible really saying, and so they put the kids out. Thinking that that's the right thing to do. Matriarchal didn't do that. They had homosexuals and lesbians back then too. They didn't do that. If you get to really studying history, you'll find out homosexual was a part of the priesthood, just like it is today. I guess I don't get caught up with the homosexual or the lesbian thing because I understand the process of the embryo. I understand the process of the embryo. you know and what people don't realize, they get so caught up with the homosexual thing, they don't realize sex is dangerous. It's very dangerous to you, spiritually and physically. Spiritually is danger to you because that person is emptying their spirit into you. Physically is because you can get some disease, because 80% of the time, that man is out there having sex with somebody else. That's just what he do. But I don't have to accept it, and I didn't. That's why me and my ex-husband got a divorce. You don't have to accept somebody saying, well, you got to take me because I'm going to mess around on you. You don't have to accept that. That's lowering your standards. You don't have to lower your standards for that. You just have to tell your vagina, baby girl, you on a hyena. That's what you got to tell your vagina. You got to tell your penis the same thing. Hey, let your fingers do the walking. Trust me, that's very safe. You shouldn't want nobody entering you with five other things. And this is what was really funny. Well, it's not funny. I'm laughing about it, but I'm sure you guys wouldn't laugh about it. But if your man slept with a bisexual woman, he can get her spirit, and he will say, if a homosexual uh do oral sex on him, he'll still say he's straight. But if you let another man touch you in that way, you just as gay as he is. And it's funny because they do it. They do it. And then they say, oh, well, I was in prison, I had to do it. The only time you have to have sex in prison if you get raped. And they do rape them. They do rape them. My oldest son was there, and he told me they do rape them. You know, and he said some of the gods just let them do it too. I remember I used to visit this girl that I considered to be a friend of mine for over 20 years. She stayed behind the jail here in Atlanta. And every time I would drive past her, I would hear those guys crying. And they cried hard too. And I would always go over there like in the evening because we would be going clubbing. We're going to, because I used to hang out at the clubs. And I would go over there and park the car and hop in her car and we'd go clubbing. But I used to hear those guys crying all the time. And they say that the guards let them do it. At least that's what my son told me. And I used to hear them. And it's just sad. This need to. We need some changes down here. I personally, I don't know about you, but I personally can't sit up here and say I'm happy. I can't live in a mansion and know that people are out there homeless. I can't live in a mansion knowing that there are children being molested. I can't live in a mansion and knowing that there's some hungry people somewhere. I can't do it. I'm too, my mind is too focused on people. You know, that's just like having a good child and a bad child. I'm not going to feed that bad child because he been bad, but I'm gonna feed the good child. I'm gonna feed the bad child too. I don't like him being bad, but I'm gonna feed him too. We just I personally feel that if we think better, we do better, because we can all have a mindset, because that's all it will take is a set of way of thinking, a new way of thinking, and it would change the whole entire environment down here. If you think new system, you get a new system. If you think we need a better system, you will get a better system. If you think that we need people to help the homeless people, then there will be a people that will start helping the homeless people. We have to come from just thinking about ourselves and our close families and start looking at the world as a collective, because it is. I don't say because they evil and wicked. I didn't say kill them, destroy them. I said, change them. I'm a firm believer that people, no matter how wicked they have been is, I feel that change could take place. The same way I got knocked down almost right at my 40s. I said in my 30s, but right at my 40s. And when the doctor told me, he told me, he said, you'll never walk again. I knew that wasn't gonna be Deborah. And honestly, my legs, when I took the cast out, when he took the cast out my legs were so tiny to that really they were pitiful looking. And trust me, when I stood up, that was so painful. But I was determined to walk. You know, you just you don't let people project. That's what we've been doing. We've been letting people project. We've been letting people give us subliminal messages, and we've been giving energy to it. We got to stop that. We don't have to settle for anything. We don't have to compromise anything anymore because the universe ain't going to let us no more. Whatever is wrong going on in the earth, the universe is going to call. See, the universe does certain things, but the universe uses people to do certain things. And we have to realize that. We have to go back to the community because that's what matriarchal did. You remember the people about Black Lives Matters? Black Lives Matters was lesbians and homosexuals. They made you think that they were for those people to call themselves straight too. No. Black Lives Matter, go look it up. Black Lives Matter was only focused on lesbian and homosexual, and they took that money and they lived their life. Okay? Those that called themselves straight didn't even get nothing of that. They don't care about and they were fraternities, sororities. All they care about is themselves. It's like a group. Church folks don't care nothing about nothing but church folks. Whatever group you in, that's what you focus on. Uh, 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 whatever, what they call it, culture you in, that's all they care about. Well, we got to stop there. We have to stop that group culture thing. We have to come together because as long as segregation continues, then those patriarchal will continue surviving because they rely on people to keep them surviving because it's the people that have the energy to keep them surviving. We don't want them to survive. We want them to change or move out the way because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's what we want them to do. They make the money. There is no reason for people to be suffering in America. They make the money. Excuse me. They make it. So if they make the money, why are people suffering? Why would they build more jail cells for guys to lay around and sit around in their cell all day and all night? Because that's what they do. I had a DUI. And I one, and that was the second one I had. And the second time I had to, the judge told me I had to be in jail for 10 days. So I split it up. I just went there on the weekend. And when I went there on the weekend, I utilized that time talking to to people. That's what I did, you know. But what those people did, they laid around doing nothing. They were happy to go in the kitchen to cook. They were happy to go when they needed some people to go out and pick the trash up on the street. They were happy to go out and do that. But that's all that they do. Why you building jail cells? Ain't no reform taking place. You're building jail cells for people to lay around to do what? And to have sex with one another? That it makes no sense. What about reform? You know, there was a lady here in Atlanta, and I loved her for the way she did what she did. Her name was Judge Hatcher. Judge Hatcher was a part of the juvenile system. And what that lady did, and I watched her faithfully. Anytime a child came in there disrupting the family tree, acting up and stuff, she put them in reform, which means she put them in something that was going to cause them to change their mind about their behavior. And it worked. When she left, reform disappeared. We need more people like that care. Because a lot of these kids can be saved. A lot of adults can be saved. They just need the proper people in their face that care. You'll be surprised. Some people don't require a whole lot. They just want to know you care just a little bit. You know. And even the ones that do care, people got something to say. The opinionated people, they got something to say. They talking and ain't doing nothing. That's what they do. They run their mouth. And I'm going to be the first one to say, well, what you doing? Do you have a company? Do you go out and help the homeless? What do you do? What are you doing? Because you're talking. And that irritates me. I run my mouth, but I do things too. But anyway, folks, y'all quiet on me. I don't know what y'all doing. I call myself coming in here, trying to spend some time with y'all, because if I come early in the morning, y'all working or sleeping. So I said, well, I come in the evening time. Well, this time I was already on the internet, and I was just feeling so sorry for Tasha K. You know, but the earliest I would come is be 5 o'clock in the evening, and then 6 o'clock. Gremlin says, agree, learning how not to be opinionated of others and put in work myself. That's good. Hey, Karan, how you doing? Mr. Williams, how you doing? So glad to see you. You put your comment in there, Kiran, and then I selected it, I approved it, and then it disappeared. So I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, a lot of people. My thing is, you should only have an opinion when you're doing something, and that's how I see it. When you're contributing. Because if you're not contributing, it makes no sense for you to have an opinion. You know, and a lot of people love to give their opinion, but they don't do nothing. You ask them, well, what are you doing outside work? Well, I just go home and rest. And then you ask them, well, what are you doing as far as studying words? Well, I hadn't had time. You better make time. Because you know what? While people going on Friday evening a Saturday night going to clubs and partying and drinking and stuff, the patriarchals are studying, finding ways to keep you ensnared. That's what they doing. And a lot of people don't know that. It's time to be wise. But anyway, good people, I've got to go. It's been good talking to you. See you guys next time. Take care. Have a good night.